Hi guys, welcome to Raisins. Today I'm going to talk you through the JCE Editor. It's a Joomla editor. It doesn't come as standard, but it is an add-on, otherwise known as JCE. Absolutely brilliant tool, offers loads of great functionality, so shout out to JCE, great tool guys. And what I'm going to talk you through today is how to add a style to the administration part. So the reason for doing this is that it makes it easier for your clients. They don't need to learn any CSS. They don't need to learn that, for example, you need to add a class to a div to make that work. Things that they don't like to know, they won't have to do anything inline. As well as that, it really makes their branding much more efficient. So you're going to see stuff like if you let people do it themselves, they'll all choose a different color red. They'll all make up their own padding. Some will be good at it, some will be terrible at it. But overall, your branding is going to suffer because it's so inconsistent. So that's why to do it. Let's get cracking. So here's my page, just a pretty standard article. Now we've got a guitar picture here, and I'd like to tie this quote about guitars. I'd like to make that stand out a bit. So I've got a style called testimonial I'm going to use. So if I go into the back end, and if I go to JCE, remember you have to install this separately, and I go to profiles. So on profiles, I'm clicking on super admin because that's what I'm logged in as, but you could repeat this for the other profiles. In fact, I suggest you make different profiles if you've got different levels. In this case, it's the fourth tab, the plugin parameters tab. And if we go down to the bottom, it's in alphabetical order, and I want the style select. So once I've clicked on that, I now have to go back to the top to find the options. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to create a custom style. So ours is called testimonial. So I type in the word testimonial there, and we need it to be on a div. So we've chosen div from there. As you can see, you can choose H1s, H2. We need it on a div, so that's what we've picked. The element selector, you could put in multiples there. So you could put an image A span, and then it would only match those ones, which would be something you might want to say. Say you had a class of color green, and you'd like to apply that to a heading or a paragraph. You could put H1 and a P in there separated by commas. In this instance, we want the class testimonial to be added, so we've added that into classes. Styles, we could do inline styles such as color or background color or padding or something. We're not going to do that. I've saved it all in a style sheet, so I find that much easier to work with. I'd recommend you do the same. It's a lot easier in the long run to maintain. And attributes, you could add a class, you could add title, sorry, you could add something to the data layer, so your JavaScript could target it, things like that. I'm not doing it for this example, but I will save that, and then I'll go over to my article. Now, in my article, I'll scroll down and I'll find the item I needed. So this is the guitars part that I mentioned. Now it's selected. This is the styles menu I was talking about. So you can see it's picked up a few from my template basically, but the one we've just made is called testimonial. So we'll apply that one, and as you can see, it's now put a div and a p. So if I show you the code, and we're looking at this bit of the code here, and you can see it's got div and there's a class of testimonial, which is what we wanted. The p it's left inside it, which we're fine with, and it's closed the div for us as well, so that's nice. So now I save this, and I go back to my front end and I refresh, and here you can see it's added the class, so it's got the consistency of the padding that is going to be consistent throughout the site. It's got the dark green background, which is going to be the exact same color of green each time. The font is slightly larger and it's white, obviously, to stand out from the green. And we've got these sort of quote things there, which are not working very well, but I'll fix them in a minute. But as you can see, it's really easy for the client. All they need to do is remember to choose the styles drop down, and then they can choose whatever they want. Again, if you see select, when we selected it, if we remove the div from it, and then we doesn't work very well, does it? Remove the div, and then I'll add that back in. If I select it and I go to styles and I click testimonial, you'll see that it's adding the div. So that's really the important thing. It's really helpful for clients. They don't want to learn that they've got to they've got to make a div with the class of testimonial. You can see we've added a before and an after, which has got those quotes in it. They really don't need to learn about before and after. They don't need to remember what hex reference for that green. And if you leave them to it, they'll almost certainly do their own thing, and it will be really inconsistent. So that's the reason to do it. I hope that really helps you guys. I hope it helps your clients to have an easier job when editing, and it should bring you some much nicer looking websites without clients interfering and putting their own styles. Everybody will come up with their own thing. Some will be dreadful at it. So my advice is to lock it down. JCE is great. You can set individual profiles so they don't have access to all of the buttons. That's for another video. But I hope that's helped. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.